growing up, my entire family was really musical. Like, both of my parents were music teachers, and everyone in my family performed somehow. So I got a lot of different influences as a little kid. A lot of like Beatles and Sinatra, a lot of Disney songs and stuff. Then a lot of ska. Yeah, and then I was pretty much just into ska until I went to college. And then I found the Dead and Fish and stuff like that. So kind of meshing everything together is where I'm at now. Still trying to make it actually work as its own thing, but it's getting there. The pieces are coming together. Like, it's not really a whole lot of culture in Hampton Beach, I'd say. I don't think they'd get mad at me for saying that, but I don't know, the music taste and a lot of like the style and the food and stuff like that was very beach related. So ska having the reggae influence, it was everywhere. My first concert I went to was Real Big Fish and Streetlight Manifesto at the Casino Ballroom. Like, I have a tattoo because of it. Like, it changed my life. It's so culturally, I'd just say the word beach. I wouldn't bring any countries or people into it, but there's sand and water. My first real gig was the Seafood Festival because they wanted like a local band to play, and we didn't really have one. So my dad was the high school band teacher and just, hey Chris, make a band, you can have this gig. So that's how that started. But as far as Slack Tide goes, actually getting us into some people's scopes, the Stone Church in Newmarket did a lot for us when we were first starting off. Like, I moved to Newmarket for 2 years just to go to the open mic every Sunday. They continue to be one of our biggest supporters. It's one of those spots where you can show up and actually play what you want to play. And even if it sucks, people will be okay with it. My creative process is really stemmed from a somewhat unfortunate but also wonderful necessity to perform. If I don't have a gig at least once or twice a week, I will get depressed. Like, that's how I want to spend my time in my life, is performing. So when I'm writing, I'm often thinking what's going to sound the best in this song if it was in front of people. There are times when I'll have sort of like a muse situation and I'll sit down and write a song because I wanted to write a piece of art. But 9 times out of 10, I come up with some sort of idea or a lyric or a riff or a story pops into my head. And then the creative process is, how do I transform this into a live experience? So with my solo music, that involves a lot of music theory, like tricks, and I'll sort of like change chords and throw in different rhythms or different meters just to throw people off, and also just to stump myself because that's fun. And then with the band, I'll write in full sections that are just on a piece of paper, a question mark. Full improv sections. It could be 12 bars, it could be 12 minutes. And the rest of the song is pretty structured, but it's a vehicle to get to that part where then it's a whole different creative process. You know, my brain is turned off. I'm just listening and reacting. You're not thinking about what you're doing, you're just reacting. And then eventually you notice people are yawning, and then you have to go back into, okay, which song was this? Okay, what's the first? Okay, B, got it. 2 totally different worlds that, if done appropriately and respectfully, and not too self-indulgently, can complement each other very well. Don't do half-hour jams, no one wants that.
It's Captain Gnarly and his gang of rascals and thieves, pillage and plunder across the 7 seas. Gnarly had a sword embroidered with silver and gold, a beard full of knots, and a mouth full of mold. One night under a big yellow moon, saw the crop was gone. Cyrus looked up and saw that the fog stretched 1,000 miles below. Suddenly a terrible creature erupted from the sea. The scales were black, the sea could glow, and with blood-red eyes it let out a scream. Captain Gnarly said, ready the guns men and horses, as we fight till we die or until we prevail. Ready, aim, fire. Captain Gnarly and his gang of rascals and thieves better believe that they battled that beast across all 7 seas. The pirates fired their last cannonball, but the beast would not die. So Gnarly grabbed the sword and then he threw it right between that monster's eyes. Sea serpent slipped back into the sea, and thus the battle was won. Captain Gnarly's gang of rascals and thieves into the storm that sailed on.
Slack Tide did just put out an EP. That was our quarantine project. It's 4-track, I think it's about 20 minutes. It's called Sea Rat Red, which is the name of a fictional beer, which we're actually working on being made real. They want to call it a Slack Tide Red, and I still just name it Sea Rat. Just name it Sea Rat. But yeah, that EP came out. That was fun. Recorded at the Noise Floor in Dover. Chris Chase, amazing human being. His dogs are great too. Yeah, we did the release party for that at Pipe Dream in Londonderry. Had a really good turnout. That was the first gig I've ever done where I saw at least one person wearing every shirt that we've had since the first batch, like my first year in college, like hand tie-dyed by me poorly, all the way up to the new one. That was cool to see, like, I don't know, 6 years of work, all still watching. I have a solo project that was my quarantine project. I have like 3 more things I still need to do to it, and I'm just lazy and don't do it. But that'll come out soon, hopefully. That was fun. That is a step away from the whole jammy, rock and roll, Grateful Dead, Fish kind of thing. Very acoustic songs about my life and people that I love, much more vulnerable, which felt healthy during quarantine to do that. Not write songs about pirates. Yeah, that'll be fun when that comes out. And I honestly think, what was it? Diamonds from the Drunkards. That's what it was called. That's what it's going to be. Probably just SoundCloud, because I don't want to pay to master it. If people like it enough, then I'll pay like $200 and get it mastered, and I'll put it on Spotify. We'll see if anyone listens first. Seacoast, New Hampshire, especially since I grew up here. So very much built my career in this area. It's the most supportive scene that I've been a part of. I've played clubs and venues and open mics and the whole shebang, all the way from top of Maine down to Virginia Beach. And there's something about Seacoast, New Hampshire where, number one, you always know that you're gonna make some amount of money, which is not the point, but still that helps, especially when you have to get drummers and bassists. And then number two, you know that when you go there, somebody's going to appreciate that you're there. Like I was telling you earlier, there are gigs that I will do and I call them jukebox gigs. You throw me in the corner, plug me in, give me some money, I make music, and then at the end of the night I unplug and you forget about me. You don't get that a whole lot in this area. Some of the more touristy spots, maybe, but if you go along the Hampton Beach Strip, not in the middle of August, you're going to see a lot of local people and people actually appreciating it. And Exeter's definitely been picking up their game. I played probably more in Exeter than I did any other town in New Hampshire so far this year. It's picked up and people love it. People love it. So, yeah, keep it up. Whoever is in charge of that, keep it up. I think the general rule of thumb around this seacoast is if they have a stage, then they like original acts. Like Furies in Dover, Pipe Dream in Londonderry. There was the Brick House, now it's Virtual Golf. Like Sawbellies too. You know, they're new, but they built a stage. They appreciate their music, and when the venue puts that little extra bit of effort in to make it a special experience, people see that and they're attracted to it, and then they actually listen to the music. They don't turn around and tell you to shush because the game's on, like, which happens a lot more than musicians want you to know.
Sometimes I feel bad for my lungs. They take more beatings than they deserve. Girls and power and pills and powder, I still can't find what I'm looking for in God's meridian. Through it all I see the light. Music that we're making here tonight. Well, I found you. I found you. I found you. I found you. Sometimes I feel bad for the ground. They never stood a chance. Fear in streetlights and beers and ash box, still can't find what I'm looking for in God's greedy earth. Through it all I see the light. Music that we're making here tonight. Well, I found you. I found you. I found you. I found you. Sometimes I feel bad for my brothers and sisters getting kicked out in the cold. Those who have risen to the highest power are on the wrong side of their walls. Through it all I see the light. Music that we're making here tonight. I found you. I found you.
for helping the community, bringing any amount of art or music or food or beer, anything that's created by a local human being, supporting that and promoting that and giving that an extra oomph. There's nothing better you can do for a community than that. And as far as artists, helping them, coming out of quarantine, a lot of people and a lot of very close friends were living gig to gig, and it was tough. Like, people, having to decide if they could take gigs because they didn't know if they had enough money to get there with gas. Yeah, so having all of these opportunities to play, like I said, I played in Exeter more than any other town in New Hampshire this year, has really been, for some people, been their income. And not only is it working and people are able to survive, but the town appreciates it too. So if people are happy and people are getting paid, and there's no problem in there, so let's keep doing it. More towns be like this. More towns be like Exeter. You'll have happier, richer people. I think that overall, social media is terrible for the world and we should abandon it completely, immediately. However, for that one blip of quarantine, I do think that it helped a lot of people. For me at least, being an artist, I needed to perform. If I don't do it, I get sad and I don't get out of bed and I'm grumpy, you don't like me. I needed to perform, so doing live streams and actually seeing comments, having people text me and say, oh, I'm watching your stream, good job, can you play this now? Like, yes, I can, sure. Getting that feeling back, even if it was artificial, the feeling itself was authentic, and that meant a lot. And as far as being a fan, the guitarist for Fish, Trey, he did these live streams from the Beacon Theater in New York, and oh my God, when I watched the first one, I cried because I'm actually suddenly getting like 30, 40 friends messaging me all at once. Are you watching this? Are you watching this? And actually feeling like I'm in a crowd again. Because as an artist and as a fan, I can definitely say social media was a good thing during quarantine for me. For other people might have had other experiences, but for me it helped. Now the quarantine's over, let's get rid of social media. I have two pieces of advice. One was said to me by who's now my keyboardist in Slack Tide, Michael. The other one was said to me by a professor, and I cannot remember his name. The one that Michael told me was, a musician's job is not to play music. A musician's job is to practice, to book, to promote, to write, to tune your guitar, to set up the stage, lug all the crap in and out of the car, all that stuff that we hate. Going to Staples to print posters, all the nasty stuff. That's the job, and the reward is to play. So don't forget that, and never think that your job is just to play. You will never play if you think that. The second thing was what the professor taught me, and he, on a whiteboard, he drew a long line, a little timeline, said everyone's here right now, there's all of us. It's going to taper like this. Just be the person that doesn't give up, and eventually your competition will look like this. I'm telling you, if you stick with it, give it 5 years, half of the people that you're doing it with now will have quit. And someone needs to play those gigs. Just be there and be ready. Don't stop. Eventually it happens.
I remember back when I was 12 years old. Got my first guitar, and I learned how to play the Beatles, Nirvana and Elton John. Best friend back in school used to play the drums. Yeah, and another played guitar too. We learned how to smile for hours, playing gigs for bar food. Band added a bass, started sounding good. Things got bigger and the lights got brighter. We were drinking in the dive bars with diamonds from the drunkards. That's where we learned what we could do. Wrote a song about history, I wrote a song about fear, wrote a song about nothing. back when I was 20 years old. I built myself a band, a couple dead ends who needed a little more bread to pay their rent, jamming in our friends' basements. Got a big red van and we hit the road, tore from state to state. Road never ends, and so another hit I'll do again, just to make it to the next stage. That's when we learn to jam. Don't let's fall and Mr. Rebel with the young. 6 at a time, we were rocking every night. The night was going strong, thought it wouldn't last long, oh no. Still riding it till the end. I wrote a song about history, I wrote a song about fear, I wrote a song about nothing at all and nobody seemed to care. I wrote a song about love, I wrote a song about fear. Just ought not, can't go on then. I'll have to write something like this, write something like this. Oh no, no, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 oh no, no, oh no, no, oh no, no, no. So now it's all I know. Said it before. Ukulele boy, it's going rockin', full on rock and roll. That's all I